Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Magic Stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally pictured on your screen is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with going back to school. Wisconsin Badgers 2026-2027 season start. The grind continues. Jeff, once again, we had a disappointing end to the season. How do you plan on fixing that?
Well, it's going to be a little tougher this year for reasons I'll get into in a minute. As you can see, we've had a pretty good track record here. We started in 22-23. We've done a lot better than Wisconsin's been doing recently in real life. So 4 solid seasons. Really should have won it 2 years ago, but the playoffs come down to a single game. It's easy to lose. And, well, we lost twice in a row now. Or, well, I guess 4 times in a row now. Because we haven't made it to a national championship game yet. And we got some problems now, though. It's First of all, I'll show you the transaction log for the end of last year, and these are the guys that were leaving. Basically, everybody, the first group that leaves early. Stramo was a regular. He wound up signing in Detroit. I think he was a first rounder. Was he the first rounder or second rounder for them? No, first rounder, 11th overall. Never really had a huge season for us. Kept waiting for him to break out and he didn't quite, so I don't know, maybe he'll do better as a pro. Robotham was the fourth string goalie. I don't think he ever really played. So, our Dexheimer was, I think, a 4 year starter for us. Played, yeah, pretty regular for pretty much all 4 years he was here. Pretty solid player and wasn't drafted, but the Leafs signed him as a free agent. So we'll see how he
Hmm,
does there.
good for him.
Jugnoth he wasn't actually a Bruins draft pick. He's with them now, but what happened was Seattle signed him and then signed and trade. They immediately traded him to the Bruins a couple of days later. So we'll see how he does in Boston. And then pretty
Look,
much the other guys that are leaving here. Lucius, Cruz Lucius, who I think signed the team that drafted him. Yeah, Carolina drafted him as a fourth rounder and never put up a ton of points with us. Had a pretty good junior year in 2024-25, but slipped back a little bit last year. And still got a contract, so we'll see how he does. I don't think Newton was just a part-timer in Orbach. Looks like he signed in the ECHL. What else we got here? Oh, and you can see the incoming guys. Well, I'll show those in a second. But the big problem is this. July 18th, Macklin Celebrini signs with the Flyers, who drafted him with the number 8 overall pick last year, or 2 years ago rather. We weren't sure we were going to get a second season out of him, so we got a sophomore year out of him last year, and he had a pretty good season. Had a couple of injuries, but that cut his games played down a little. But again, our leading scorer and easily the best player,
yeah,
and he's gone now.
that
So
hurts.
yeah, we're going to have to deal with that. So what we got, I want to show you what we're going to lose at the end of this year. I'll show you that first. Graduating class. I keep forgetting about that list here. Bruveris, was never supposed to be the starter, but the guy who was going to start didn't qualify academically his first year, so Bruveris replaced him. He's played pretty well, and it's kind of a 1-1A situation in goal right now. So they'll probably split playing time pretty evenly this year. Chapman, who's finally going to get to be a regular this year after never playing more than a dozen games in a single year. In previous seasons, Buckberger, who's should have a pretty good year. I think he's probably our second best defenseman. Mellenbacher, who had a great sophomore year and then slipped back badly last year, so we're hoping he has a comeback. And Novak, who's been pretty much a steady third, fourth liner this whole time here. So there's a few guys that we're going to lose at the end of this year. It's nothing critical. It's going to be nowhere near as bad as what happened last year, or what happened this season, or this off season rather.
Yeah, this is not a particularly great team, huh?
Yeah, well, we got the incoming freshman list. The big name here is Mason San Luis, Marty San Luis' son. So he's scored pretty much. He's been with the national team development program and played pretty well for Salmon Arm at the BCHL last year. He was the only guy that we had selected in the draft. He went number 47 overall in the second round to Arizona. Other than that, our freshman class was completely untouched by the draft. We've got a few other guys. Leo San Michel, who's going to be probably playing a fairly prominent role right away. One thing you'll notice is there's a few guys coming in at older ages, and I think that's because we started this with a version of the database that they had a couple. I had to make a couple of changes later on to the way teams or players, college-bound players, move from one team to the other in the non-playable leagues. So you won't really see this in a game you start now. But we've got a few older players from Quebec that are coming in. But I mean, we'd be in big trouble, wasn't it, if we didn't have those guys? So that's
Yeah.
a pretty big chunk of our class this year, and some of them are going to have to step in right away. Uh, Nathan Cam will be the third string goalie, and is probably the starter a couple of years down the road. Was redshirted last year. Jarrett Ross, true freshman, uh, coming from the Alberta Junior League, and only 19, so he's going to be a fairly regular player on defense. And Linus Atkinson, I think we redshirted. Yeah, we redshirted him last year too. Great potential, but only one star, so hopefully he starts developing soon. But I
Yeah.
mean, we've
You
got.
need we
Go
need
ahead.
some guys to turn that corner.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 4 and 5 star guys leaving, and a couple of threes and 1 3.5 coming in. So we are not going to be as good as last year. Let's hope we get hot at the start of the year and a couple of guys start developing quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be, I think, finding ourselves struggling to stay in the top half of the Big Ten. Well, that might be a little pessimistic, but still. Now, one thing I've set up the lines. I think this is pretty much how I wanted them. Just gonna lock a couple of guys in place. What I've done is, because we're so thin at center, Hiroki Gosik, who was a winger his first couple of years, but can play center as well. I'm going to play him and start him in the middle. See if that's basically replacing Celebrini. It's the best thing I can come up with to do that. So we'll see if he moves over okay. If not, then the next option is probably Lindstrom, who's been a decent third line forward.
You say Willie Lindstrom?
Isaac Lindstrom.
Mm-hmm.
But tactics, I haven't looked at this at all, so let's see what we've got. It's just
I was just gonna say, Jeff, would you be interested in trying to upgrade some of your coaches at this point?
so I did hire a couple of scouts to fill out the and change my scouting settings a bit, but
I see a couple of interesting goaltending coaches who would be upgrades.
let's see if I can sign them. A lot of these guys won't.
I guess that's true. Let me check this one right here. Yeah, he'll sign.
It's an assistant coach, or
Yeah, assistant coach. Yep.
and one of the guys at the top. Which ones?
I searched by goaltending and I didn't get one of the top ones. Doesn't look like I'm looking for somebody who's also good coaching prospects, and those guys aren't great at the top. But there's a few names here that I noticed. Leo Luongo is there. We also have Mike Brodeur and Tim Chevelday, who would all be upgrades over our current goaltending coach. P-Wog, thanks for coming out.
Let's try Chevrolet. And yeah, he is willing to sign, so take him. And can our existing goaltending coach Brandt do anything else? Oh, he's actually. Wait, why did I have him as the goalie coach? That was dumb.
I don't know. We could use probably a better skill coach too. Looking at that.
Brandt is actually pretty good offensively.
Okay, well he's
Oh
pretty
wait,
terrible.
what about? Oh, geez, what was I doing? I got everything set.
He's got 3. Yeah, that's right. He's got 3 of them. All right. Yeah, I have no idea what you're doing. I just noticed that. Oh, he's set to every single one. Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's fix that. Man, how did we miss that?
Good thing I looked at this and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
P-Wog, when you say that Big Ten, do you mean in 2026 or in real life? I'm assuming you mean in the game. But Now, as we mentioned, we are currently streaming on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, twitch.tv/OOTP developments, and on our Steam page. So if you see us chatting to somebody, then that's probably, and it's not in your chat, it's probably at one of the other ones. He says in real life.
Okay, I think I've got.
Pewog. Okay,
Go
well,
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
sorry.
say,
No, I just got
well,
that
you,
set up now. I'm going to set
well,
up
you
the
can say.
training while we're doing that. Go ahead.
All right, I was just, I don't follow college hockey enough. I'll say that much. I am following Michigan a little bit because of the Jets draft picks, and I'll be a little bit more interested too after the NHL draft to see where guys go and who my team, the Jets, take, and if they end up picking up some more picks in the upcoming trades that are definitely going to be happening.
Definitely going to be happening.
Well, I think they have to they have to be trading uh, Pierre-Luc Dubois,
Yeah,
and if Hellebuck has told them he's not going to resign, then they need to get rid of him
that's
because
fair.
they're going to get more now than they will at the trade deadline because nobody trades for a goalie at the trade deadline.
Just explaining what I'm doing here. I'm trying to picking the spots for the guys. I'm generally trying to emphasize training on the younger guys. So probably nobody in their senior year. Novak, like, take him off of there. Keep the training bonus, the second number here, somewhere over 10, probably over 12. So that's just how I'm prioritizing my selections here. And I'm going to train the younger goalies since both of the. Well, actually, no, maybe I won't do that. I'll put the mental training on Elias since he'll probably be there for a second year. But just basically, I'm trying to focus the training points on guys that are going to be here for a couple of seasons and have a lot of room to improve.
Yeah,
Although
exactly.
yeah,
Okay, sorry, Jeff, I got to step away for a minute.
good. That's see physical training. Again, yeah, just making sure there's a bit of a difference between ability and potential and the age. Yes, see Novak. Why did I have Novak on so much? He didn't really improve that much, given how much attention I was putting on him last year. Keep that a level 11. Don't see anybody else I need to adjust. No. Yeah, see, Chapman's a senior, but he's 2 stars out of 5. Wondering if I should, yeah, I'll give him a little bit of extra help. I don't want to waste too much on him because he's gone after this year. But he did have a lot of room to improve. That's a little too much. And again, I don't want to drive the bonus number down too far or else it's going to limit how much you can help the players. 13. Yeah, Novak had everything. Really should give Stanley another point somewhere. Actually, no, we won't give Chapman that. Trading bonus, we'll give it to Stanley there instead. That's a little better. Okay, that's it for training and back to tactics now. And I haven't really looked at this at all. Got the line set the way I want, so let's just scroll through each of these and see if there's any particular tactics that stand out. Wow, okay, yeah, strict positional. Apparently we're not going to get too fancy because that fits us really well. Funnel tactic, a couple of guys that are good, great fits, and nobody else. Dump in seems a little better. Oh, balanced attack. Okay, we're going to go probably strict positional balanced attack. This is going to be a boring team this year, but it seems to fit.
All right, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm just going through the tactics here.
Pewog says you're still being a little bit quiet.
Oh, sorry. I'm kidding. No, my head's kind of turned to the side screen when I'm doing that. I got to remember to get closer. Going to go with 1-2-1-1 in the offensive zone. See how
I
that
like it.
works. Forechecking. Yeah, 1-2-2. Pretty much changing all of our tactics up here. Okay, now the 2-on-2 seems like that can fit. Everybody's still good there. For the neutral zone coverage.
Jeff, I guess we should get the awkward part out of the way. How do you feel about the Stanley Cup final being over?
Lowest rated Stanley Cup in how many years?
I
Final
just
game, final game, how many years? 20,
somebody
29, they
asked
said on
me.
Reddit.
Somebody asked me, "Did you watch it?" And I'm like, I turned it on because I knew it was 4-1. And at that point, I saw it was 6-1, and I'm like, "Yep, done."
Yeah, I mean, that's, and obviously kind of depressing watching a team that's in their, what, fifth season?
6.
Sixth season, still with a quarter of the guys on their roster from the expansion draft, winning a cup while your Jets and my Canucks continue to not win cups. But congratulations to them; they deserve it. Played great.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're gonna. I don't know if what they're doing is still sustainable, but I guess it's working right now for them. So,
sustained it long enough to win a cup.
well, that's what I know. But it's just they have no prospects coming.
Okay, I'm going to go with stick with puck position here. That looks like it fits pretty well. Okay, got the tactics all set up. And I got the lines done and training set. And I already did I worked on the scouting. Actually, let me just show you what I did there. I shuffled the priorities around a little bit.
Overkill of ASC in the chat says playoffs got less interesting in the later rounds.
Yeah, there weren't any great matchups. They mostly all got killed off in the early rounds. No real great potential matchups.
Well, I mean, Dallas and Vegas should have been a pretty good series, but like
Yeah.
Dallas just kind of crapped the bed. I don't know. Their goaltending just disappeared.
I did one thing I did here was shuffle player types around a little bit, and we're going to de-emphasize scouting in our own league since that really doesn't add that much to us. And I bumped up other leagues a little higher. And what else did I do? Yeah, I think I bumped that up 2 or 3 positions. So we'll see if that improves any. We've had a little bit of an issue with getting our players scouted enough, or the prospects scouted enough. So we'll see what happens on November 1st on signing day. Or, wait. No, that's verbal commitments day on November 1st, isn't it? Or do I have it backwards? I gotta look now. So it was, yeah, okay, National Signing Day, November 10th. Yeah. It's going to be more the scouting's going to show up probably more in verbal commitments, although we'll probably.
P-Wog, what do you mean by that? He says, do you think the Wings will trade before the 28th draft? Just in general, making a trade?
And 6-1 win in our first exhibition game against Boston University, and San Michelle gets 4 points. So a pretty good start for the first line. And Gosik's already improving at center, so maybe we're not as bad as I thought.
I don't know if we hit some of those top teams, but maybe they're not. What's the other division guys in our division looking like?
Well, we'll see in a minute. It'll probably sort itself out in the first couple of weeks. Actually, let me once we get through the exhibition, wait, I'll just have a quick look now, I guess. Minnesota. Fair amount of depth. Really good defenseman. 2 really good defensemen. Good goaltender. Maybe not quite as much scoring. Penn State. No, Penn State looks bad.
P-Wog attempts to move up. P-Wog, how would you feel if the Wings traded that 28th pick for and somebody else for Hellebuck?
Ohio State, not as bad as Penn State, but a little more depth. Still not fantastic. Michigan State, Best forward I've seen in the conference so far, but not much behind him. Michigan, probably, yeah, okay. Two excellent forwards, although they haven't really produced a lot of points yet. I guess Serrato's done okay. Looks like he had injuries last year. And good junior defenseman, so Michigan is going to be tough. And Notre Dame, okay. Knuble, I don't know if that's Mike Knuble. That must be. Yep, Mike Knuble's son.
P-Wog wants to know how Alaska's looking.
How's Alaska looking?
Both Alaska teams.
Alaska Fairbanks. Ooh, not well. One good player, one really good player, and not much after that. And Alaska Anchorage.
Wait, did that say he went from the development team to the BCHL?
Yeah, there's a couple of did that. And Alaska Anchorage actually looks pretty good. No superstars, although this silver guy looks pretty good. Yeah, pretty good freshman season. And good depth. Are they kind of... Oh, no, there's a lot of seniors there. Looks like they'll be a contender. But anyhow, second exhibition game against Colorado College. Give Rivera's a start in this one. And 5-3 wins, so we're getting points. I mean, the big thing we've got coming back this year is Carson Steinhoff, who should have been a huge, should have had a huge freshman season last year because he came into the league at, I think it was 4.5 or 5 stars. But was in and out and not that great, so he should step it up this year, and I actually made him the captain. So let's see how he responds to the pressure there.
Crushing blow.
Yeah, Steinhoff, 13 points in 27 games last year. After being a point-a-game player and a little bit better than a point-a-game player in the BCHL. If we can keep our undefeated preseason streak going. 7-0 win over Clarkson. So, okay, it looks like things are... it's still, I mean, it's the exhibition season, so the AI will rotate its lineups around quite a bit and won't really use the full strength lines the way I'm doing. So I'm trying to, establish, because we got so much turnover this year, establish a little bit of chemistry where I can. And I got a second game against Boston University. And we beat them 5-2 this time. Okay, 4-0 exhibition season. This should be moving us into the regular season now, so we'll get back into the Friday night, Saturday night schedule, which lasts for almost the whole year, except for a little period around Christmas. So if you haven't seen the streams before, with the college games, we wind up playing. You'll get 5 days off, and then you'll play Friday night and play Saturday night. So there's a little bit of a fatigue management issue in the second night.
I will just point out here, Jeff, as you know, this is not exclusive to college hockey. This is something you deal with in the Canadian juniors as well as lots of European leagues as well.
Yeah. Just college is, it's probably the most regimented in college, so it's where the schedules are very... There's almost no variation between the 2 games a week, both on the weekend nights. And a monthly budget. I'm running a little low on points here. Let's back that down a little bit for the moment. And I don't know, having looked at the other teams in the conference, I think we've still got a shot at contending this year. We're a little better off than I thought I was. And Mason St. Louis, third in the country in the exhibition season for points. So good start for him. Actually tied for the lead in goals. So as long as he does that once we start playing the regular games, we're good. And I will take a look in a month or so at how our graduating guys and maybe some of the guys from previous seasons are doing in the pros. Looked like Celebrini was actually going to start in the AHL. Okay, and our final camp development report, which is going to be mostly guys. The top part is going to be the recruits for future years. A lot of improvement there, and okay, down to us. Chapman, couple of points. Deschênes, Dubois, okay, 4 points there. Epperson, nice. That's going to help. Oh, Gosick, oh, fantastic. Okay.
Well, that's a big
plus 7
bump.
points, yeah, up to 4.5 stars. And I'm hoping for something similar from San Luis. Ross also 5 points. San Michel. San Luis only plus 4 points. I mean, it's good, but not fantastic. Okay, and then good. Atkinson finally gets his 1.5 stars. So he's off the 1-star level.
That probably moves him close to 2 stars, really, with that big of a bump.
Okay, Charest wants to wear number 28 for some reason. He can have that. Oh, and I should mention, I decided to redshirt one guy. We had no academic problems this year, but I redshirted the incoming goalie, Sagan Lecarbo, because I've got 4 other decent goalies, and he's got a little bit of potential in the long term.
You didn't redshirt Nathan Cam, too?
I redshirted him last year. He can't play 2 years. So he'll be the third stringer this year, and we might get him a game or two. Particularly, I mean, if a goalie gets hurt, he's definitely going in. But
now, just remind me here, because can you redshirt a guy or no?
Yep, at any point you can unredshirt him. I mean, if he's academically ineligible, it wouldn't make any sense. But if you've got him, because he still wouldn't be able to play. But if you just redshirted him to keep him in the system for another year, and then run into, say, injury trouble, and you need somebody in the lineup rather than bringing in another walk-on, you can unredshirt a guy and start playing him. And looks like Ohio State's won twice to start the year. Yeah, I think we're almost got a week off at the start of the season. Okay. And the other thing about the Vegas winning the Cup, Aiden Hill, worst starting goalie on a Stanley Cup winning team in recent memory. You think anybody else?
In recent memory?
Yeah. Or memory at all, even.
Well, Niemi in Chicago in 2010.
Yeah, he had been at least a starter, though. I mean, Hill hadn't.
Like,
Hill wasn't even only played, 20-something games this year?
again, not a great goalie. I mean, if you want to go further back, I mean, Ken Dryden walked on to the Canadians to lead them to a Stanley Cup.
Being a Hall of Famer, though.
Well, you don't know what Aiden Hill's career is going to be, Jeff.
Okay. Well, actually, we do. Wait. See, I was already looking it up. His name's in the search screen. How does he turn out in this game? Oh, wow. 71 games for Nashville last year.
Maybe things aren't that.
Although he was nearly out of hockey at one point. Looks like the Flyers got him. And then Nashville must have signed him. Yeah, signed as a free agent for minimum wage in Nashville, and wound up being the NHL second-team All-Star last year and got a Vezina nomination.
I mean, he's a big guy, so if he can play, it's not impossible.
Had him rated, right?
And goalies change. I mean, again, guy kind of coming out of nowhere. Again, Tim Thomas.
Yeah, goalies are weird.
Trying to think back, like I don't think the goalie who won in Colorado last year was amazing.
Okay, Wisconsin at Minnesota in the home opener.
What's his name?
Or actually at Minnesota. Now. It's Minnesota's home opener. It's a season opener for us.
That's bad. I'm drawing a blank.
And 3-1 win. Steinhoff is the first star with 2 points. So that is a good way to start the year, and I will give Rivera's the second start. back-to-back games. But if we can beat Minnesota, that's a good sign.
Trying to think back though. Okay, didn't win the Stanley Cup, but Philly had like the three goalies who got them to the Stanley Cup final back in 2014-ish. Remember that?
Vaguely. Okay, Rivera's starting goalie for game 2, and a 5-2 win.
Grit Flyers when you need them.
And Epperson with the hat trick. So everything is coming together so far. I think we should have enough time here, hopefully, to get up to the signing day draft. But 2-0 to start the year. Getting slightly more optimistic now. And we're the only undefeated team left in the division 2 weeks into the season.
Nice.
Everybody else has at least one loss. So.
Okay, another one. Didn't make it. Okay, didn't make it into the Stanley Cup final, but the Hamburglar year for Ottawa. And then if you go back further to the last time Ottawa actually made the finals, that was the year Hasek got hurt. And so it was Ray Emery kind of came out of nowhere to lead them.
Yeah,
there.
I guess, Emery's about pretty much similar level to Hill. But it can happen in the game too.
Yeah.
I know I've seen people saying, well, goalies don't really matter because I've won the cup with a fairly bad goalie. Well, yeah, it just happened in real life too.
Guys get hot at the right time.
Yep, exactly. And the poll, we are number 2 in the country, behind Connecticut. UConn is 0-4 to start the season.
I'm going to sit here and continue to think about goalies.
And Colorado College up next. Everybody's at 100%, no injuries so far. This is all running surprisingly well.
Okay, Jeff, one that's relevant to you and me. Again, Pittsburgh didn't make it to the Stanley Cup final, but there was a year they plucked Johan Hedberg from the Moose in the IHL, and then he led them to, was that the third round?
Can't remember, but yeah, I remember that.
That.
And it's a 1-0 win over Colorado College. Keeping our undefeated streak going. Tried Viveris in goal for the second half. I think I'm going to be splitting goalies pretty much all season like this. And we finally lose a game, 2-1 to Colorado College. Outshot them. Couple of weak defensive games. Nice game out of Gosick. But Ross, Zapp, Akison. How's the scoring looking? 4 games in. San Luis leading us in scoring. My problem with that is we don't want him leaving after this season. And Epperson really stepping up. What's happening with... Why don't I see the winger? What's his name? Oh, God. Mellenbacher. Come on, man. Goes for 31 points in 35 games 2 years ago. He doesn't even have a point this year. And I do have him on the second line, don't I? Yeah.
What's his power play time?
None at all.
That might be part of it then.
Let's try him on the left point on the second unit. And still, I mean, you're getting second line time, you at least get a point somewhere in there.
Here's another one, Jeff, thinking about it. It's a trophy in our game. Again, okay goalie, really good playoff run. J.S. Giguère.
Giguère was better than okay.
You're still on a bad Ducks team.
Yeah, Giguère, though, was probably at his peak borderline top 5 goalie in the league. Is Aiden Hill even in the top half? Like starters in?
I don't know. He's getting a
Maybe
pretty nice
now, but
contract from somebody.
yeah. Is he a free agent this year?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
So
boy.
is Brossois.
Yeah, did you have Laurent Brossois as a potential cup winner?
Listen, I really like Laurent Brossois.
Oh, yeah, no, I liked him in junior.
Him in
I'm happy
Winnipeg.
with it for him. It's nice to see him get
I
that.
he got kind of crapped on all over in Edmonton. Came to Winnipeg, rebuilt his game. I was sad to see him go. And then with all the injuries he's had to deal with the past couple of years,
Yep, no, good for him.
if the Jets end up moving Hellebuck, I would have no qualms about them bringing back Brossois if they could get him
As the starter?
as a tandem.
Okay, Miami of Ohio next.
I think you'd run Brossois with maybe Arvid Holm for the Jets.
And 7-1 win in the first line had a big game. All 3 or 4 points from each one of them.
I also wonder if they could entice the Russian goalie to come back.
Which one?
Burden.
Uh,
I was trying to think of his name. But then again, like the Jets drafted Dom DeVentis, or however you say his name, out of the OHL. In,
I can't remember how.
yeah, with a late round pick, and he lit up the OHL this year.
Yeah, I remember upgrading his ratings at the start of last year. Probably need to take another look at him because he's even been.
He ended up a second team All Star. He dragged that team to a playoff victory by himself.
Second half of the Miami series, and we lose the second game again. So maybe I got to give Felius more of the starts. 3-1 loss after an easy win in the first game. So I think Elias kind of established himself after that as a number one there after Proveris. Well, not cost us a couple of games, but we've had a couple of losses with him, and that is a starter. And Elias 0.67 goals against average. Hard to argue against. And we are, as predicted, kind of in the middle of the Big Ten. Ohio State at number one. And yeah, we should get to the signing day. Maybe 14 days away. And Skahan has medial epicondylitis, which sounds serious, but is apparently only day to day. He's almost ready to come back, and we are down to 12th in the country. Michigan Tech at number one, and UConn is still undefeated, 7-0-1. RIT and Merrimack also haven't lost yet. And nobody really jumping out in the scoring leaders. Skahan does not seem to be quite ready yet, 80%, so we'll get one of the younger guys. Looks like DeShane fits in there pretty well. So I will swap him in like that. And then what I'm going to do is just make sure, yeah, he's in the pregame lineup, which doesn't change anything permanently. I'm going to swap DeShane down to the third pair for that and move Ross by one. And narrow 3-2 win over Notre Dame, but we'll take it. And unlike the first two series, I'm going to try Elias in the second game as well. See if that improves things any.
All right, I'm trying to think of any more goalies that are really popping out, but I'm drawing blanks now.
But as far as winning a cup, I don't think there's really anybody that, or at least very, very few.
Well, again, I go back to Ken Dryden, who came out of nowhere. And again, Tim Thomas basically came out of nowhere.
He had a good season, though.
I know, but
And 4-1 win with Elias in
tell
goal,
me,
so
tell me,
he's
Jeff.
the
Do
number
you
one now.
remember? Do you remember where he was goaltending the year before he won the cup?
Wasn't in Province, the AHL. It was just
He was
St.
actually
Louis
in
at one
Boston.
point.
He was no, he was in Boston the entire time.
Sitting on the bench.
He was in Boston from '05 to 2012. Played 38 games, 66, 57, 54, 43, 57, 59.
Yeah,
But
still.
if you would have told me that, I would not have believed you.
Okay, top selling jerseys. Rivera's, despite costing us a couple of games, is the number one jersey seller, and Elias is number two. So people like the goalies apparently. Development report for this month. A lot of prospects coming along again. And Good Novak's had a couple of good development reports in a row. So he's a senior this year, but it looks like he's going to have a pretty good season. And good to see Steinhoff still heading up. Ross as well. And Yukon guy, yeah, he looks pretty good. Didn't have a huge freshman year, but 14 points in 9 games so far. Fondrick is even third rounder by the Devils. Now, speaking of which, I was always going to look at the our outgoing guys. Because we should be into the the NHL roster should be settled by this point. And the guys, let's see. First of all, Celebrini, how's he doing? Leahy Valley of the AHL, 8 points in his first 6 games, so off to a good start there. And getting 21 minutes a night, even more than he was getting for us. Lucius, Chicago of the AHL, and hasn't done anything so far, so there's a pro career that's kind of hanging by a thread. Jugnoth traded to the Bruins, actually made the Bruins out of camp, and 4 points in his first 8 games. So wouldn't have pegged him for an NHL starter this year based on what he did with us, but seems to be working out. Dexheimer, who signed with the Leafs. Wait, he signed with the Leafs. What's he doing in Rockford? Oh, he was just with the Leafs on a tryout. Yeah, it wasn't a actual contract signing. He wound up signing in the AHL with Rockford.
Okay.
And 6 points
Was
in
he a
his first 5
senior?
games. Yep.
Okay.
Started 4 years for us all. Pretty steady improvement. Well, nothing dramatic, but average game rating went up by 1 or 2 points a year. And let's see, did Robotham ever? No, Robotham is probably done in hockey. I'm guessing Newton is similar. Yep, also not signed. Horbach. 3 games with Kalamazoo so far. Looks like they're giving him some playing time. And Charlie Stramel, how's he doing with Detroit? Oh, made the Wings and 5 points in his first 7 games. And let's just check back to a couple of prominent guys from previous seasons. Let's see. Caden Brown, mostly out of hockey. Braden Morrison somehow playing in Poland.
Interesting.
Carson Kuhlman's had a pretty good half season with Columbus in his first year, and looks like he's on their roster again. So we seem to be producing a lot of defensemen.
Kim is chilling. Says, "Hey guys, missed the start of the stream. Any good freshmen getting minutes?"
Marty San Luis kid. Problem is we lost Celebrini. So
Who is Martin Saint Louis? It's actually just him dressed up, trying to be a kid.
okay, that seems unlikely. And let's see, anybody. Stang was a pretty good player. Not seeing a lot of guys who moved out in the first couple of years. Oh, Jared Moe was our starting goalie the first year. Didn't make the NHL. Looks like he's made it to KHL all the way in Vladivostok, where he seems to be the starter this year. He's playing pretty well. So maybe his pro career isn't done yet. Lindmark, ECHL. And monthly budget, okay, that's coming up a little bit now, so I can bump the morale spending back up slightly. And yeah, we'll just get around to the 10th, the National Signing Day, and set ourselves up for next season and hopefully get a little bit more depth because we're starting to thin out a little bit. But still second in the conference, not too bad a start. At least you can't really have expected anything better than this, given what we lost going into this season. Athletic director is... Okay, so he's... Third line is interesting. Taking longer, you were not expecting to be a serious contender next season, but aren't planning on a total rebuild. So the expectations are probably going to go a little bit down in the longer term.
Kim is chilling. Says, "Where is Vladivostok?" Was that Poland? Was that Poland? Was that what you're talking about, or am I missing something? My brain is shifting in two different things at the moment.
Mo, our starting goalie, was from the first season. Is playing in Vladivostok now. I showed that, yeah. But that's a quote from somewhere, but I don't. Okay, wait. The 10th. Okay, we got the series with Michigan first. And we're up to 8th in the country. But let's see if that lasts after the series with Michigan.
Vladivostok is on the Pacific coast, about as far from the rest of Russia as you can get. 12-hour flights to games.
Yep. And 4-1 win in the first game against Michigan. That's promising. And pushes them down towards the middle of the conference, and we are on top now. I think I give Preveris the start here, or I'm going to try Elias again. Really cooling off Preveris. It's going to be about 3 weeks since his last start, but... And a 4-1 win. Leo San Michel seems to be having a fantastic year here. And Gosek has officially converted to center. So that worked out. Nice. San Michel in his first year, 14 points in his first 10 games. 3.5 stars, that's working out nicely. And no, looks like Rochester's still undefeated, 7-0-2. Oh, San Michel, third in the... Well, you know, still tied for third in the country in assists. Somebody from Miami of Ohio leading in points. But yeah, good goal differential through the first 10 games. Good home record, good away record. Not really much to complain about at all. Oh, I forgot to change that defenseman back. Do that before. Get the Shane in for scan. And here we are, National Signing Day. Now, if you haven't seen this before, this works sort of like a draft. The only difference is the picks in the draft aren't final. All you can do is nominate a player. Then every other team decides if they're going to compete for him, and then the player makes a decision out of all the competing teams which one he decides to go with. If you're the picking team, the player tends to favor you a little bit. So teams have an incentive to pick players they know they can sign. So you tend to not see a lot of players moving for two teams that didn't nominate them, but there will be a
Well, you
few.
got a bit of a. You're getting tough here when you only got 2 scholarship spots.
And I well, no, two scholarship spots and two and a half graduating seniors. So I
Okay.
got 4.5.
Before you get started, let's look at Wisconsin guys.
Yep, and we are first in draft order again.
That seems
Surprise.
odd.
No, it looks at you for the last, I can't remember how many seasons it looks back, but we probably I think we've probably got the best record over the last 2-3 years in hockey. But as you want to see, Wisconsin kids, a couple of better ones. Howard Jones, presumably not the keyboardist,
Who
and
knows?
Ernest Nelson. I'm not even sure if Howard Jones is still alive, the other one, the musician. And a couple of these 5 potential guys aren't committed yet, so I'll come back to that.
Can you mark them at all?
I mean, I can. Shortlist them.
Makes more sense.
Oh, yeah, I was going to look at Illinois. Okay, there we go. Cole McKinney. And the young side for a guy that's going to be playing next year hasn't committed to anybody. And high ability, okay, that's potential early pick for us.
I'll just nominate him. Take the 16-year-old.
I'm just going to take a look at the whole country first. And actually our commitment list. See, we got a very good 16-year-old goalie who's verbally committed to us. But
we don't really need him.
Yeah, don't need a goalie, but we've got another guy, Sheldrake, who's he's off to a good year with the national team program. He's only 16. He's only half a star right now though, but that's a pretty good player. In terms of ability, I'm surprised there's that many uncommitted guys. But
Wait, what a coin is that?
Caden Aucoin, who is the son of Adrian Aucoin.
Huh.
And now you're going to accuse me of drafting the son of a former Canuck.
Actually, Kim and Sheldon point out there's one guy who the intelligence of 11 is a little scary.
Which one was he?
I think that was one of your commitments, but I could be wrong.
No, it wouldn't show up in the.
No.
It's McKinney.
Well,
the 11th one. Yeah.
It highlighted over somebody who had really low intelligence.
That's McKinney. That's the 16-year-old
Okay.
with the NTDB. Out of the guys that I can do.
Okay,
This.
McKinney. Oh yeah, McKinney. Okay.
Coin's also an 11.
6'1". We need more scoring forwards.
Yeah, this guy's interesting. Brendan Flynn playing in Northern Ontario with Sioux Thunderbirds.
Oh, I take the guy who's hurt. Sounds about right. Just what you need.
Well, 1 to 2 months, but he's also got an
What's his
intelligence of 15,
health look
so
like? What's his health look like?
Vulnerable in the torso. Yeah, that's. I mean, he's only going to be with us for 4 years, so it's not like we got a long-term worry with his health.
Maximum 4 years. Who's that? 7? No, 5.
Which one?
No, that
That's
Canadian
Brian's
who's. But we don't have him actually scouted.
Yeah, I'm a little doubtful on that rating. And we don't know what the intelligence is. I'm leaning towards Flynn here, despite the injury. And
I'd take
Edward Parsons.
The project?
1.5 stars already, and he'll be up to 2 or 2.5 by the start of next year. Putting up a lot of
If
points with the national team program.
I want you to edit him and set his name to project.
The Edward Parsons Project. No, I'm holding out for a guy named Alan Parsons. Apparently committed to
Jeff, I
Clarkson.
don't think you're ever going to get
Oh,
better
look at
than that.
that. He blew his knee out last year.
Oop.
Why? It's showing normal, though. Then again, that probably set him back a little, so.
Go for a coin.
Defenseman, you wouldn't rather have a forward?
Watch the next couple and see if you can steal them if they get picked up. You want the ex-Canuck kid.
Nah, I want the guy with the bad shoulder more. Flynn. Gonna go with Brendan Flynn.
Can we put a nickname for your guy? Jeff Jim Benning
And Flynn
Riddle?
joined us.
How's that sound to you?
And I'm not going to compete for any of these, so we'll just take the available guys. And we'll see who's left when we get around to us. It takes a second here because it take longer than a normal draft.
Boom. 60-second pick. He's still there. Take him now.
Yep, the coin's there.
Take him now.
Okay.
I don't know why he's still there. Don't even offer him a scholarship.
That's a little too risky. Now, okay, the best guys left are goalies. What were those?
We don't need a goalie.
Committed players. Sheldrake, the winger. I'm down to, I've used 2 full scholarships, so I'm going to give 1 more full scholarship. That will have us at 3, and then I can give out 3
Hooray, math.
partials.
Kim says, you said you don't need a goalie, but that 2 out of 5 star one might be too good to pass up.
Let's see if he's still there in the next round.
No.
No, I think he's gone. But we still got Lee's our committed goalie.
You gonna offer him a contract now?
I'm gonna take this Czech kid that we've got committed to and offer him a partial. So that's partial.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Number 1 of 3, Clement will come. I think I'm just going to clean up our commitment list here. And Lee's the goalie. Also on a partial, and we got 1 more partial to give out. Got him as well, so no problem getting guys to commit to us.
That's what happens when you have good success but can't win anything. Wait a second. Have you officially... should we start calling these streams the Wisconsin Canucks?
Wisconsin Leafs, more like it. We lost the Wisconsin kids.
Both of them gone?
Yep. Good ones.
Oops.
Okay, that was a decent commitments we had left. Let's see if there's anybody... goalie again. Okay, with 3 stars, what was on our list? No, that goes down to 1.5 stars. Yes, I mean, there's a goalie there, just no point in picking because we already got a ton of goalies. And this defenseman looks like a safe pick, Jennings. BCHL, gonna use that last partial scholarship on him. Oh no, I'm out of scholarships, not letting me do it, so. And he didn't sign with us. He decided Brown probably offered him a scholarship, so he's going there next year.
There's a guy with the last name Ascot. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, Jack's Ascot. Playing with Vernon.
Offer him offer him a non.
Non-scholarship, and yep, he'll come without a scholarship.
Yes. Excellent.
Anybody? Okay, this just gonna take a flyer
Did
on
Samuel
this local
are
kid from Quebec. What?
you're not offering our goalie a contract or a job?
I've got like 3 good goalie prospects already.
All
I
right.
think other commitments beyond that, so it's pointless. It's not like I can trade him for anything. And we've been a little thin center, so I'm going to take Lawrence from the BCHL. See if. Nope, also going to Brown. So Brown's stealing all of our guys that we can't offer scholarships to.
Okay, we're in picks 400, Jeff. It's okay.
Try Markham. He's been sitting at the top of the list for a little while. He will come.
Yes. More defensemen. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, search by height. Search by height.
We're looking for the freaks now.
Yeah.
They got 267 guys, but they're like 1.5 stars.
That's it. Okay, search by weight.
Also a bunch of 1.5 star guys.
Scroll down a little bit. Well, keep going. Keep going.
Actually, let's do the opposite. Who's the tiniest guy available? Oh, only 5'8". Not that small.
Going to Harvard.
Oh, there we go. 5'11", 108 pounds.
How?
This guy needs a sandwich.
How?
I'm guessing
That's not even possible.
That's probably a real guy. There's a data error in the start because the engine would normally fatten him up.
Weight 108? My goodness.
But,
He would literally be a skin and a bone, and that's it.
But there was one decent big kid, Bosk. Or Miramichi of the
Any
Maritime
scouting
League.
on him? Miramachi. All right.
Yeah, he's. Oh, I'm at the roster limit, so.
Kim is Chung on 6'7". The kid's only 195. Get that boy some pizza. The 108-pound kid.
6'7", 195. That's like okay for a small forward if you're playing basketball.
That's still better than 108 pounds being 5'11".
Okay, so I think that was a fairly successful signing day. Let's see what the summary says. The poll has us at number 6 in the country. Clarkson and Brown both still undefeated. RIT finally lost a game. And Brendan Flynn gets mentioned. All right, signing day doesn't get the evaluation like a draft. So this is what we've got. And the I keep forgetting to look into how it's showing the potentials here. Something isn't quite right because it's claiming they're all 5s, and that doesn't seem right. I think that may be relative to their current league. I think. But yeah, a coin. I mean, when I look at it on the pop-ups, okay, a coin 5-star, potential Flynn. Also 5, Sheldrake 5, but it's showing 2.5 current, and it's only half a star. Lee's 1 star, 4.5. Clement, I think that's actually lower than we were showing the scouting. He's not off to a great year. Is he playing in the? Nope, he's playing under 20. And Ascot. 1 star, 2.5. And Markham, the guy that was showing up as 3 stars is now showing up as 1 star in the scouting, so that may not work out. But a decent recruiting class, and I think we addressed a couple of our needs there. We've gone way over time here, so I'll wrap it up quick. Actually, do you want to start? But I think that went reasonably well.
Yeah, not way over time. We're just longer than normal, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you very much for tuning to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Franchise Hockey Manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTB Developments, and every other week on our Steam page. You can reach out to, or you can see all of our videos archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, with our stream archives going live on Sundays at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page if you want to talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. We can also find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio. And of course, you can come down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to official forums. You can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out the Puck Baseball, Perfect Team Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff, did I miss anything?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything there. Just played a couple of the games against Long Island University and won both of them. Bruveris finally gave another start, and he came out of it with a shutout, so that's good. And Mellenbacher finally had a couple of goals in the first start of the first game. So take a very quick look at our scoring, and San Luis off to a huge start, and San Michel with him. 1.5 per game in their first seasons, and Gosek is working out really well at center. Epperson
Excellent.
having kind of a breakthrough year as well. Steinhoff, fewer points than I'd expected. Buckberger having a good senior year. Mellenbacher finally starting to produce a little bit more. And the goalies. Nice numbers from both of them, really. 930 save percentage at Elias, so I think he's pretty clear cut as the starter right now, but we got a good backup in Bruveris if anything happens. But yeah, other than that, I'm still working on FHM 10. Got a lot going on there, and we will eventually be able to tell you about that. And for FHM 9, we haven't forgotten about the playoff sale. We normally have done the playoff sale by now, but we had done the Steam Sports Fest earlier in the month, and that was only for 1 week, so we'll have another week-long sale. I guess it'll be the post-playoff sale coming up fairly shortly, so keep your eyes open for that. And I think Steam has probably got a summer sale coming up fairly soon as well. But aside from that, as Adam said, we'll be on the forums, and then we will be back next week with Adam's Columbus Blue Jackets game, where the team is sort of finally starting to come together, assuming Adam doesn't trade it all away again.
Trade everyone away? Okay, we'll do.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's the plan. You would have done it anyhow, so might as well. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming out, and we will see you in a week from now.